I heard.
And Justin, just with the Daily Double, the topic is Florida real estate. How much would you like to bid?
I think I'd like to play. Okay, I think knowing what I know of current market prices, I think I could get a nice, lovely 4-bedroom home for $4,000.
And your question
Final
is?
offer.
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
It's 2 minutes for roping. I like that. You're a jabroni.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night. It's What the Show. And we know how Jeopardy works. Right,
We
folks?
do. We are very familiar with the concept of Jeopardy.
I think so.
Yeah. I think I understand how it works. I also understand that we all just spent a weekend together in Orlando. The Blinky Cups rise, bitches.
So, funny thing, I did find this out after the trip. I'm cutting way ahead, but these Blinky Cups were discontinued on Saturday, so we got them on Friday.
We got them last trip. The surreal and sinister Blinky Cups.
They were recalled apparently.
The recall.
Oh boy, are they gonna blow up?
Are these on stage?
I don't know, but it was a recall on the sinister and surreal cups. That is why they had the generic ones the second night we were there.
I'm still
It's a
using.
good thing you guys convinced me to buy the one on Friday night.
Yeah.
It's now a collectible. It's a rarity.
Yeah.
Well,
I could probably sell it for $4,000.
$4,000.
$4,000. There's kind of a dark humor in looking at the current Florida marketplace value of a house, considering that a major hurricane just hit. With that said, we don't do the Streamlabs stuff much anymore, but look up your local, any FEMA, giving to FEMA right now is
Disaster
good.
relief.
Any disaster relief you can for the Southeast. We were very fortunate in Orlando where we were going. We were all concerned about travels. We were all concerned about safety, but we all thankfully got there very safely. Who knew the scariest thing of the weekend would not be HHN? It would be this terrible storm. So anyways, with that said, as people who live in the Southeast, as some of my friends are still out of power in our local area,
Carolinas are really bad.
we're thinking of you. And again, anything that you all can give anyone who's watching.
Anything you give, any time you can help, with relief, anything like that. We were
Very
fortunate.
much needed at this time.
Bethany and I were very, very fortunate. Our area did lose power for 2 days. We happened to not be there for the duration of that. By the time we did get back to Savannah, we had power again, apparently. According to our stove, it had been on for about 5 hours. So we did get fortunate as opposed to a lot of other people who currently are still without power. I will say for us, this is kind of a good segue to our beginning of the trip. I know Justin and AJ's day started before ours, but to quickly mention,
we're gonna get to the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone. Sorry to bring it to a downer note there for a minute.
Well, on a positive, Bethany and I had the shortest trip we've ever had from Savannah to Davenport. Normally takes in excess of around 6 hours, and with stopping for gas, took us less than 5 because there was nobody on the road.
Yeah.
So we are counting our blessings on that one. When we left at 6:30 at night and got there before 11:30, that was pleasant.
We have discussed on this stream many a time about my weather nerdiness, about my love for weather apps and whatever. But listen here, y'all. This is where it comes in handy. Because this girl had been tracking it, had been knowing things, knew what time. I was like, we got to get on road at this time. We are clear on I-95. We are a go from this time to this time. And so I'll say what you want. But sometimes it needs to be a weather nerd, okay? And it paid. And we got there safely in record time. I was good.
Motherfucker. I'm sorry. I'm watching
That was
the Mets
baseball
Brewers
related.
game.
But while we were
It's like
just
watching the Weather Channel with Pete Deacon.
yeah, while we were watching nothing down I-95, you all were getting up for some other things. An Italian family restaurant. And this is where I'm going to let y'all take over the story for a minute.
Tell selective
This is where it
details,
gets-
whatever you want to say.
All right. I'll
Juicy.
so
Yeah,
all right, so I decided to fly out at 6 a.m. so that I could have a full day of Orlando fun.
Loves an early flight, and I love that.
Love an early flight. So yeah, I sleep over. My brother's. It's close to the airport. Got up at like 4:30 on the flight. Plane ride, no delays, anything. Oh, except for there was the weird thing. I thought I was going to be late to the flight because they randomly had everyone like have to walk by a dog. It was very weird. But anyway, so
Probably
I
training.
get flight, everything's good. Get to Orlando and go to this like arcade thing for a little bit. That was fun, but phone was starting to die, so I wanted to go to a place where I could kind of hunker down because I'm going to be Ubering over to the Deacons, Casa Deek, Mike's parents, and so we stay the night. So I decide like I haven't eaten anything basically since the day before, and now it's like 3 p.m. So I'm like, all right, there's an Italian restaurant like a couple minutes away, Uber over there, and it's great. I'm enjoying a Negroni and Campari and having all the aperitivos of the Italian. I'm a big Italian food and wine or food and drink nerd, so
That
can't
will
do it
come
a lot
later. As well.
I can't do it a lot.
Later wine.
Like fully just, try all the different drinks and everything the way I would like to, because, normally I'm driving, so I'm being very careful. So in this situation of having the Uber, I'm not really thinking about that too much. And so I spot a special bottle of Russell's Reserve, which the normal stuff's my favorite bourbons. And this stuff is 110 proof, 55% alcohol. So 10 to 15% more than your average. And so I'm like, I gotta try that. So before I like have my dinner, I order it, and normally a neat pour is just 2 ounces.
Right.
But I want to measure in like at least 3 ounces into this thing. And so I'm sitting with just a dynamite keg of whiskey in this glass. I'm like,
It's a $20 pour in a real expensive bottle. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
oh, it was delicious. It was very good.
Money's worth.
Value-wise, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
I loved it. So yeah, I have that, glass of wine, another thing, and I'm still feeling good. AJ, I haven't charged my phone. I get my phone back. AJ texts saying basically like, I just got off the flight. I'll meet you, and then we can go to their parents after. I'm like, perfect. So for the first part of like AJ getting there, I think I was still like, it hadn't quite hit me fully yet. And then I think after AJ being there like 20 minutes, I was just full blown like, all right, things are blurry. AJ, you can kind of take over from that perspective.
So I think you're missing some drinks in the middle there because you told me there was more before that.
Well, he probably blocked some of those out. What is it exactly that AJ texted me?
Wine? Yeah, wine. I
says-
think I had 1 glass of wine and Amaro. I don't remember
So-
anything before the Aperol Spritz.
So yeah, we did
Oh.
another bourbon pour. We
Wait, did
another
I-
pour.
Did I drink another one?
Uh-huh. You got
Oh,
at least
that's-
one more with me.
We have receipts from AJ.
Oh, that's the problem.
Uh,
Why did I have
another bourbon
another
pour.
one?
Oh, The
Oh,
direct
that's where
quote
it
from
all went
AJ
down.
at 7:50 p.m. Everyone was Justin is the most sauced I've ever seen him.
And then we
Why did I
had
get another
a
one?
gin and
That's so
tonic to
stupid.
cleanse our palate,
Oh, we did.
and then an
Gosh.
Aperol spritz.
Some Aperol spritz.
No,
That's
there
kinda
was something else in there. There was something else in there. Well, there's two Amaro shots.
We were watching the challenge earlier, and one of the girls had an Aperol spritz, and I
And
lost
we
it.
started laughing.
Yeah.
I
So I'm
don't
pretty,
even
I don't drink
remember
much
that.
anymore these days. I'm pretty sauced. Juice is gone.
Sauce.
And it's at this point.
Everyone, I have stayed in an action house with Juice before, okay? Like, I have hung out on multiple occasions with Juice where drinking has been involved, and I have never seen Juice like that.
So it's this kind of drunk that you get, and then go to your best friend's house, your best friend's parents' house. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
the best friend me again.
without Mike being there.
That is how Juice arrives to the deacon's house.
I can't believe that. Oh,
So
And
we
What
get
was
there,
so-
get him to bed, get him to bed, go down, hang out with Mike's parents, and kind of broker the peace a little bit. I hear a little thud at one point. Go up, check on Juice. He's fine. He's just kind of, sleeping it off. Come back down, and then watch the entirety of Thursday Night Football.
AJ had a
with-
night.
Pete Deacon, and had a great time watching the game with him. Pete, by the way, not a fan of the new kickoff rule, but somebody who loves his New York teams and watching with somebody who's involved in the game, and especially with it's a division rival as Giants Cowboys, is a great time. So then Mike and Bethany get there, and I will pass it off here.
Yes, we finally arrived. We, of course, have been excited. We've been looking forward to this trip for months. It's been a little bit of a stressful drive, but we've made it safely. Very fortunate as far as weather is concerned, again, to my great storm tracking skills. And we get there. We've been warned by both AJ now
My
and
parents.
his parents. His mom's direct quote was not functional as far as Juice is concerned. So we're like, all right. So we tell the Juice is sleeping it off in the kids' room, okay, in the frozen bunk bedroom. So we come in, we hug our dear friend AJ, and we're like, he's been sleeping for a little bit. We would like to go see our dear friend Juice. He's traveled far to be with us here this weekend. We are so excited to see him. So Mike goes in first to see him. I go in. I'd like everyone to know that at this point, the lights are now on. And so Juice, for some reason, thinks it's morning. It's 11:30 at night. He has his backpack on, ready to go. And I go, Juice, where you going? And he's like, I'm ready to leave. And I was like, we're not going anywhere. It's 11:30 at night. And he goes, oh, it's not the morning? And I'm like, no, let's take our backpack off there, buddy. It's not the morning. And this is where the $4,000 comes in. I got to witness it first. I'm not to humble brag, everyone, but humble brag. Juice is talking about the events of the evening, showing up at the deacon's house drunk and whatever. And as the good Midwestern man that he is embarrassed. He is ashamed. He has brought shame on his family, All of us think it's hysterical, by the way. We were not ashamed of him, but in his mind, he's brought shame on himself. And so he's there and he's like, I'm just going to buy their house. And I was like, Juice, I don't think you can afford their house. He goes, $4,000.
Now, to correct what you said earlier, this is a 6-bedroom, 3.5 bath.
Big house. It's a literally like, Juice, have you seen this house? Have you seen this? I don't think you can afford this house. And he's like,
at that point, I hadn't really.
$4,000.
I got $4,000.
I got $4,000. And I was like, okay, buddy, I think we need to get you some water.
So, Juice is still collecting his bearings and everything. And eventually I'm like, all right, let's go sit outside. The storm, it's still windy. It's still like drizzly, but it's not too bad. It's actually pretty comforting to be sitting outside. I've known this for years. Like,
yeah, it was cool.
when you're in like kind of like the calm after the storm, but it's still got a little bit of the storm is still there. So, yeah, just a touch. So we all go
My house
outside,
for
and
$4,000.
we're sitting out there, and AJ is actually the first one to tap out. Juice and I wound up smoking cigars. Well, Juice kind of smoked a cigar. I need to qualify that. Juice was like, I haven't smoked cigars in years. And so my father gives him a cigar, and first he tries to clip it, and I realize he's barely touched the wrapper. Like the tiniest little bit of wrapper. And Juice is trying to puff on this thing. He's trying to light it, and nothing is coming out. I'm like, Juice, I have a V cutter right here. It's going to make things so much easier for you. Nah, man, I got it. I don't know if you got through half of your cigar, and of the half of the cigar that was gone, I don't think you actually smoked half of that. So you might have
I tried. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I could not get that thing relit. It was. Yeah, that was a struggle.
So anyway, Juice and I are the last two up. Bethany had already long gone to bed at this point.
With
AJ's gone to bed, so we're kind of like, all right, Juice and I are up till 4:30, but we knew we were going to be staying up late intentionally because Halloween Horror Nights is a late event, so it wasn't like the end of the world. We didn't have a early check-in time or anything like that. We didn't have anything in the morning that was vital to do.
Speak for yourself. As a lady, I had nails to do. I had a hairstyle. I had a whole makeup look
But you did that while I slept.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
you woke
exactly.
up,
Which is why the ladies had to go to bed early and the boys could stay up and party because the ladies had things to do. I almost skipped ahead. Sorry, chronological order. Carry on.
All right. So Friday morning is actually pretty
Chill. Nothing really
there's
to report
really
there.
nothing of storytelling quality.
We do have to note that this weekend, no one will be surprised by this. We decided, obviously, we're going to be in crowds. We're a group, of like 5 people on this trip. The 5th member was invited. I texted her. She couldn't stay up this late. Understandable. But she is excited to see Juice's recap video. So there's that. I promised I would show her. But anyways, so we determined that if we got lost in a crowd at any point in the weekend, our Marco Polo, our finding each other would, of course, be if you feel it, chase it.
Chase it.
And
we said that a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And at least 10 times each night.
It was just for funsies.
The other people in the park were probably like, why do they keep yelling like that?
Because it's iconic and Twisters is the best film of the year. That's why. Okay.
Because if you feel it,
Chase it!
that's why.
So that's the only thing really to denote of Friday morning. Then we're going to get into the evening portion, which obviously involves checking into the hotel, getting the rooms, and then can we get here to a great part of the story, which is our TGI Fridays experience.
All right. So let's just
Juice's first ever
First ever.
TGI
First
Fridays
ever.
experience.
So
What a time.
First off, as I think I've mentioned before, I previously worked for the Marriott. I was able to arrange for us to get a nice discounted hotel at the Spring Hill Suites Orlando Convention Center. We had a lovely time there. I really have no
Marriott
complaints.
sponsor us.
The hotel was lovely. We got a nice rate on the room. We're right in the middle of iDrive area, very easy to get in and out.
Yes.
It was a lovely experience, so I will endorse the Spring Hill Suites Orlando Convention Center.
Yes, we're
the
fantastic.
TGI
Now-
Fridays in walking distance.
Right, so that's what that's
Short
about.
walking distance.
Very short. Across the parking lot.
Yeah.
The hotel is like basically to the back of iDrive, but the parking lots connect somehow. So we were able to walk from the back of our hotel to the back of a bunch of restaurants, one of which happened to be TGI Fridays. We had a TGI Fridays that was, I think it's at a 4-minute walk
Yeah.
from the back of the hotel.
Yeah.
And we found out months ago that Juice had never been to a TGI Fridays. So we needed to fix this problem.
Remedy that,
Now,
obviously.
I will say, though, before we get there, because there was one thing of epic importance that did happen in the boys' room.
Oh, the boys.
The boys' room, we logged into my YouTube onto the one TV.
That's algorithm.
My algorithm is wild right now. So we watched some Simpsons clips, which was fun, some Family Guy clips, and then I see on something that I had previously watched, I'm like, Corey Feldman, full show. and Juice had never been exposed to the magic and wonder of Corey Feldman, especially Corey Feldman, currently opening for Limp Bizkit on the Loserville tour, playing amphitheaters. And we watched a full 30-minute Corey Feldman set. And we have had lots of laughs over watching TV or movies or things together. I think this is the loudest the three of us collectively have ever
Can
had.
confirm because I was in the room across the hall and I was like, thank God I know my neighbors, or else I would be pissed off by my neighbors because the neighbors so loud.
Just hysterical. Like it's good to watch by yourself. It's fine. Like it's pretty good if you're into like camp to watch a Corey Feldman set. Watching it with a group of friends, oh man,
It was amazing.
That was definitely an unexpected highlight of the trip. Was just the chilling in the hotel room watching random YouTube. Usually that kind of thing is like, all right, we're on a trip, like we're sitting here just watching shows, whatever. But this was an unbelievable blast. Got some good Simpsons stuff too.
Yeah.
Speaking of the convention center that we were located, but I don't know what convention was going on, but there were some great protests. Trying to get this to focus. Apparently, we were in town the same time as the penis mutilators were. We had some protests going on. And yes, circumcision, cruelty to boys. And so we saw that the other day. And I just wanted to give a shout out to those penis mutilators out there.
like that's a weird thing to say for the anti-circumcision, like non-penis mutillators, maybe, like unless they were walking like rabbis there as well, like they're sharing a space.
Right. I'm uncertain.
Don't touch forks.
So-
Not even with the fork. Can't touch this.
Close to
Just on the top, everybody.
and a TGI Fridays.
All right. So yeah, we eventually it's like 3:30-ish.
Yeah, which is a weird off time to go to a restaurant here. And it's usually not a busy time, which is great. You want to like pop up
One more
at the
thing.
bar.
One more thing. Penis Mutilators, great band to open for Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Corey
fair.
Feldman
Someone-
and the Penis Mutilators.
it's available if anyone would like to name their band that.
Corey
I'm sorry.
Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
So it's a weird time to show up, but that's kind of what we wanted. We had plans to get to Universal at 5 o'clock because we were meeting friends to go to the Dead Coconut Club. We will get to that in a minute. It is fantastic. But anywho, and then obviously going to the event. So we're like, we just want to get a little food in our system, get a little cheap alcohol, get this party started.
And it was happy hour.
And it was happy hour. That was an unintended benefit. We didn't even know. So we pop up at the bar. We walk in. We are maybe one of 5. Well, we are 5 people. So the 5
There's
of us and maybe like
three-
3 other people in this restaurant. The bartender has the music blasting. He is having his own one-man show. Little did we know we were going to get dinner and a show at this event. And he is just like, he gives 0 fucks, y'all. Like, he is just
living
like
his best life.
living his best life.
Yeah.
He's rapping along. The songs are not edited. So in a family establishment at 3:30 in the afternoon, I drive Orlando, Florida. Fuck is coming over the jukebox. And this bartender is just like, blah, 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 going off or whatever. And then he's like, what you want? And I'm like, I would like an electric lemonade. And he's like, blah, 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 while he's making the electric lemonade. And then he comes like, slides it down on us. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. I couldn't hear myself think.
He was quick with
But-
the drinks.
He was quick with the drinks. He got all our orders right.
Correct, yeah.
I'm gonna leave him a good tip. We salute you, sir.
Yeah.
He's like, come and see me.
Yeah, you can't be up. Yeah, I mean,
He
you
was
can't
Jason.
be.
Jason,
Does he-
we salute you.
Yeah.
Jason, TGI Fridays, I drive. I hope you're out there. I can't wait till your mixtape drops. Juice, how would you rate you overall on a scale of 1 to 5 your first TGI Fridays experience?
Yeah, if it weren't for our rapping bartender, or especially because of our rapping bartender, I think I'm going a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Yes,
All right.
I love it. I love that I told you to rank it out of 5, and you decided to go out of 10. I thank you.
I think I gotta give.
I can't rank
That
it
What was
out
at
of
my
5.
point? At my point in
Or-
the trip, what was at my point in the trip? My third TGI Fridays experience,
Yeah.
7.5 out of 5.
That is true, AJ. Yeah.
Uh,
AJ was going full on Fridays on this trip, and I
It's always
respect that.
Fridays.
We
It's
had,
always Friday.
can I just say, on Friday, we're going to get to our favorite Uber driver later.
Oh,
But
yes.
on Friday, we had the most awkward Uber drivers. I don't know what your Uber driver's like because we left separately from the event. But on the way there, our Uber driver said nothing to us, which is fine. I don't need the chit chat, but I at least need you to like verify my name and be like, hey, how you doing? And then we can sit in silence. It's fine. On the way, when Bev and I got picked up from Universal, you guys were going to STP that night and we didn't tag along that night. Which you can meet some cool people at STP. We'll get to that later. But anyways, we'll talk about how I was embarrassed. But anyhow, but no, it was great. So, anyways, we get in this Uber. This guy says literally not a word to me. No, you weren't even in this, and you're agreeing that you were not in this Uber. When Bev and I get picked up, I walk in and I like verify his name like you do. Like I look at the license plate, I verify his name. He isn't like, yeah, are you Bethany? Not a single fucking word was said to us the entire drive. I was pretty certain he was an ex-murderer. We arrived alive though. So 5 stars, gave him a tip. It was really awkward. I was like,
5 stars, Angel.
So yeah, I don't know. It was a weird Uber driver night, but we arrived alive. And that's all you can ask for sometimes.
So this is fast forwarding. Speaking of Uber rides, we're going to save the last one till the end because the last one was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
But the second Uber on Saturday pulls up in an SUV and it has the smallest back seat of all time. And I'm the first one to go in, so I'm like, I'm going to be polite and go to the back.
He committed to it, y'all.
This thing, the seat was maybe 3 or 4 inches off the ground. And I had about like 4 inches of leg room in front of me. Juice and I are just sitting in the back seat. Like,
yeah, I mean, even
much I've ever been.
Even for me, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was rough. But anyway, let's circle back.
Coconut.
The Dead Coconut Club. So our start after Juice found the Cinnabon, which is just a cart now.
I know it's an absolute shell of its former self. We're sad about it.
Yeah.
Pour one out for Cinnabon, guys.
We also poured one out for Maggie Smith and Diagon Ollie that night. R.I.P. You fucking legend. But yes, we go to Dead Coconut, and this is the 3rd year they've been doing it now, and it is by far the best Dead Coconut. It is Lost Boys, 80s vibes, vampires. Downstairs. It is fan-freaking-tastic. There are employees that are dressed up as like the little vampire people.
Oh, I'll continue on. Yeah, there's like a Slash. There was like a guy you'll see in the video.
There's like a Kiefer Sutherland Lost Boys.
Yeah.
And like every song is no skips. Every single one. They're walking around.
Sure.
They've got little goblets of blood and
blood wine. Yeah.
Just like vibing. These guys do not break character.
Or Gator wine.
Gator wine.
There's 4. Yeah, there's 4 types of wine. There's
red, white, rosé,
red
Gator.
Wine. Yeah, right. I say Gator. I was gonna say blood wine. Yeah, and Gator wine. Yeah, that was super cool. I went and danced for a little bit. I don't. When I was younger, I used to like be that weird guy. I think it was like, yeah, even more like closer to like in high school and early college. Like if there's any opportunity to dance, I would take it. Mm-hmm. Now I'm way too like, I get tired way more easily. I do still enjoy dancing, especially at weddings, but like I'm not as like go about it. But I was feeling it. I wanted to have a unique experience, and so I got on the dance floor a little bit. This like huge guy with bare feet was on the dance floor too. I'm like, that's a safety hazard. But yeah, but it was a good time. Yeah, great vibes. I really wanted to go back the next day and see if we can get them to play Madonna or something. But yeah, I would recommend the Dead Coconut Club. Do we have an update?
Just that they're having tech issues.
Oh, okay.
Even like they put in because Blumhouse is a big thing for it. There was like the grabber from the Black Phone. They set up a stand with that. They had a glass display case with Mithrigan. It was like just a good vibe. It felt like a place that if we didn't have stuff to do, that could have been the entire evening, was just hanging out, listening to like every song is no skip in there.
Yeah, every classic like British 80s British pop. You can dance, all that stuff, Safety Dance and all that.
We walked out to the Cult playing, like the Cult being one of my favorites because like just so underrated.
No Corey Feldman, that was a bummer.
Yeah. He might have been there. I think he would have made his presence known.
Trying to think if there's anything I want to cover because I'm sure Bethany has more to say about Club Dread. Mike's also wearing like a Coconut Pete shirt. There's a very heavy Coconut Pete vibes, and so because we had Bethany's friend with us, we obviously had to explain all of our bits. So before we left the hotel, we like showed her
just like YouTube, like really poorly edited best of Coconut Pete moments. And it's like,
we watched the Titanic alternate ending. Just some different stuff to get her caught up to date on.
Guys, imagine like just shout out to Bevy for like like being a part of this trip with these people who have four people who have some very online like inside jokes and just diving right in. She was an absolute goat.
I was explaining that to my friend Austin when I got back. I'm like, we literally like half of our probably more than half of our conversations are inside jokes. Like we're still, we barely even talk. We don't really talk about our own lives very often, at least not like in person. You know, there were definitely some conversations, like at the Duff, or I think it was called the Duff at
Duff Gardens.
Duff Gardens, yeah. Where we got more personal and stuff, and boy dinner is a thing we'll get into, but we just have so many years of so many online jokes and inside memes.
It's very hard to explain to an outsider. But she kept saying she's like, I have not laughed that much in like forever.
That's awesome.
So she thought they all were great and very funny, and I'm glad that it wasn't like too much because I was like, so it's a lot. We were very inside joke heavy group.
So tell about the Coconut Club because you definitely were like
real quick.
Yes.
Just on Bevy. None of the pictures that I had her in it, so she's not.
Oh no!
Really in the video.
And I didn't send it, and I feel bad.
If you sent it, I could. I obviously won't before we showed it tonight, but I could re-edit it a little bit.
Okay, I'll send you.
I did have to reuse a couple of our like group photos because we only took a couple. So
I'm sending you some right now because I feel bad. I like definitely have some cute pictures.
I do too.
And I just forgot to send them. Did you please tell me? Did I send you the picture of AJ with his tooth?
Yep. That's like 20 seconds.
Made it in. Excellent.
Just holding on the frame.
I should have zoomed in. I didn't zoom in.
So before we get into actual Horror Nights itself, Dead Coconut, since we missed most of this, having done it for 3 years, this was by far the best Dead Coconut Club they've had. It was very loud downstairs, I will say. Extremely loud downstairs.
Especially where we were sitting, was very loud.
But the overall theme, especially because they kind of did it as 2 floors, where downstairs was very focused on like an 80s dance club, and then upstairs being all Blumhouse stuff. There was a lot to do and a lot to see in there. It is a relatively limited like bar scenario because I think there's only a grand total of 3 bars in 3 stands in there, so you got like maybe 6 or 7 bartenders for the entire several hundred people in there, which is a little rough. We were fortunate when we went to get drinks that there was really nobody there. We actually got there before it really started picking up, I think, because like maybe 10 minutes after we went in there, it started getting really busy.
I have now sent some pictures, Juice.
Okay, perfect.
With that we included, which half of them have either Mike or AJ photobombing in the back, which
Oh,
honestly
sweet.
adds to
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
The other thing with the Coconut Club, though, was just like Juice getting the courage to just go out there and dance on the floor
That was so great.
solo, which I know there's footage of. There has to be footage in the
Yes.
video.
Yep.
And-
I tried to send some to Juice. But
I got some pictures. I didn't get a video of me dancing.
I've got like a minute straight of me dancing.
Oh, okay. You'll have to send that. I'll have to recut. I'll recut the video and
Dance is a work in progress.
Yeah,
yeah,
we're seeing
we'll still watch it. No, well, we can still watch what I have tonight.
Oh,
But,
100%.
but I'll re-add. Yeah.
But you can tweak it how you want with the added info that we have. Honestly, one of my favorite things about that Coconut Club was that Juice could not pronounce it right the entire time. He kept being like the Deacon Club, Club Deacon, Club Dread, Club, which again was probably because Coconut Pete was so on the brain this weekend. I don't blame you for doing it, but it was my favorite thing. Every time we talked about it, he was like, "Do you think that Club Deacon is still open?" I'm like, "What?"
Chateau Deek. That's my
Anyway,
thing.
Not to
my
be confused with
drink
Chateau
was
Deek.
phenomenal there. Probably my favorite drink of the weekend. And I had some good drinks in the park, but that drink was phenomenal, and it had little candy on it. Any drink that has candy on it is obviously automatically better.
H2O.
But everything about it was just such a vibe. And yes, I just think it was their strongest yet, and I can't see what they have to bring. But I feel like anytime Universal does like a fun 80s moment, Vamp 85 is like my all-time favorite scare zone.
Yeah.
And it was basically Vamp 85, but in a bar.
Right.
Fantastic. The everything about it was just so good.
The lighting. This.
Yeah. Like, again, a little loud downstairs, my only complaint, but it was a great way to kick off the night, I think, for sure.
I
Definitely.
wanted to do something, though, as we went along with this. So I forgot to report on TGI Fridays. So at TGI Fridays, I had a Jack and Coke. At the Dead Coconut Club, I had a Jack and Coke. So we'll go on from there.
Yes, this will be a recurring theme. We get into HHN. Obviously, we can talk a little bit about like the houses, all that jazz. We do have a house that I know we all want to discuss for sure. But I also just like to discuss one of my favorite recurring bits of HHN. Oh no, we've been burgered. Is the boys doing boy dinner? It was said, and the amount of times that Bev and I just started saying it, even when we weren't with y'all, we're like, boy dinner, was great. And that is going to Duff Gardens and just sitting, shooting the shit and drinking Duff beer.
Or Jack and Coke.
Or Jack and Coke, obviously. And there was a lot of time, especially on Saturday, that y'all indulged in boy dinner.
So before, we did that a few times, and we'll kind of go kind of chronologically, but for reference sake, we have to say first, when we went on Friday, we did splurge, and we bought express passes.
Oh,
and
They haven't really. Can I just say the pacing of the houses this year is maybe the best I've ever been paced through a house at HHN. Truly, top notch. I mean, carry on.
For those who may not know what that means, the Express Pass is an add-on you buy that puts you into a separate line, and it says that it will get you in under a third of the quoted wait time. So just to make it easy, if it says an hour, your expected wait time is less than 20 minutes. I think that night we did 7 houses, and I don't think we waited more. I think the most we waited was like 14 minutes.
Yeah. For Insidious maybe. Or Ghostbusters.
Had we actually attempted to do all 10 houses, we easily could have done it. We all kind of faded out a little after midnight. It stayed open until 2.
Yeah.
We could have easily done the additional 3 houses if we felt motivated.
But I like the way we did it. I like that we had some things to look forward to the next day. So that was good.
Yeah, and I felt the same way because
boy dinner.
Put us on a track on Saturday rather than us just saying, what do you want to do? And there it is. It gave us a focus first thing we got there.
Oh, watch out. Flashing lights for me.
So the first house we did was Goblin Feast.
Oh yeah.
Which was
not too bad.
Fine.
Fine.
Good
a
base
great
hit.
warm-up house.
And we followed that with Universal Monsters. What was it? Bloodlines.
I'm good this year. I think Monster. It's not the best Monsters house they've ever done, but it's good.
It was
The house
good,
isn't
but I
very
think that was
bad.
my biggest letdown.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting, like I
Very
like
well.
the all women's monsters theme. I was hoping to be a little bit more dynamic. They did
Yeah.
focus a lot on the
Van Helsing.
the Van Helsing descendant, which was cool.
Yeah.
Rewinding a little bit on goblins. It was the first time I saw a prop that big, which there was another big prop in the house we're gonna get to later.
There's a much
but
better big drop, but
Yeah,
yeah, Goblins
if you're used
obviously
to
are
just
cool.
the regular like haunted house vibes of horror nights, I think they did a great job with making things
Good,
bigger
yeah.
and doing bigger
Good
immersion.
big props
So,
this year. I will agree with that wholeheartedly.
yeah.
Yeah, Eternal
Yeah,
Bloodlines. The
definitely.
problem with the houses in the back is the tents are very small.
They're confined and
So the
can't do much.
houses are just very short
Short,
feeling,
yeah.
I think. And I think Eternal Bloodline suffered a little bit from that.
Yeah, they
maybe.
should have switched that with Triplets of Terror, which we'll get to in a minute. A few minutes, actually, I'll stay tuned. So then the next house we did was the consensus, I think, from all four of us, our favorite one the only one we did twice, the only house we did twice. Splinter Cinema Part 2, hands down the house I was most anticipating.
Yeah.
Hands down the house I had the most fun with. Hands down my favorite prop of the entire year. And it was a giant, just rubber shark. And it was phenomenal.
It was Bruce sized. And I
Yes.
called it Shark Friend.
Yep.
Yeah, you did.
Shark
I
friend.
remember hearing that. We chanted shark
The
both
second
times
night, yeah.
that we went to the
Shark.
house. I changed it personally.
The first time we didn't know it was there, so we didn't start chanting.
Okay, so to preface how this house works, okay, so it's all like schlocky B horror movies is a thing, and so each room is different. So you go into a little like basically you're just turning the corner and you see the poster of it, and so you see what this chick is about to be that you're walking into, and so we see this one and it's called like Blood and Chum.
Yeah.
Blood and
And I
Chum.
was like, there better be an effing shark. So I walked in, I was like, shark, 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 shark.
And then there it
And
was.
there's a shark. And I applauded, literally applauded. And so the next day, obviously, we were all very much more prepared for the shark. And so all of us came in and
The
we were like,
second we got in the
shark,
room that
shark,
one.
shark, shark, shark. And there's also mummy strippers, and it's fantastic. We got girls the first night
Mummy
and boys the
unwrapped.
second night.
Unwrapped.
Yeah, mummy's unwrapped.
It was fantastic. Like
So good.
the second time they done Slaughter Cinema, like because I knew how campy the first one was and how silly, and it was the one I was so excited to see, and it lived up to the hype. And there's another house coming up later that was super hyped that let me down a little. So I'm gonna say that Slaughter Cinema 2 was like something that had an expectation that lived up to, if not exceeded it. So I was very happy with that.
Ghostbusters was quality. That's definitely up in my top 3 for me. I really enjoyed that one.
I think Ghostbusters was my favorite IP house.
Yes, I agree. Ghostbusters is definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ghostbusters was the next one we did.
Yeah.
Because we did some boy dinner.
Boy,
Boy, dinner.
Nightmare Fuel. It is not HHN until you do a little Black Parade sing along. The soundboard this year, phenomenal as always. They're hysterical. They were doing the little like moves along with the dancers at the one bit. They switched up the storyline a little bit this year. They switched up the intro. I love the new intro because they used to always be like adult in nature, and now they just say what it is, which is sexy. And so she like pauses for a minute, and my first crowd, the one guy definitely had seen the show a few times, and so she goes to pause. She's like, "This show might be a little bit," and he goes, "A bit what?" And then she goes, "Sexy." And it was so. This guy timed it perfectly. 10 out of 10 to you, random audience member.
That's awesome.
Ushers were quality first go round. My ushers on my second show on Saturday night were not as good, but still good. The view, though, if you are going to Nightmare Fuel, I recommend this season. I recommend view on stage left.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the better view. We got 2 different ringmasters. We got Nightmare Queen the first night. We got a dark, like a brunette ringmaster. I think they were both fantastic. Obviously, Nightmare Queen has my heart. Obviously, BDSM Trevor Lawrence has my heart.
He'll come into play
He'll
later.
come into play later. No Tiana, which just made me sad because she is my fire queen, but she is off in California doing like Knott's Berry Farm or some shit this year, and I'm sad about it. but it's fine. We're not bitter.
My cup.
And that's my review of Nightmare Fuel. What's your review of Boy Dinner Part 1?
So, Boy Dinner Part 1. We go to the same. We actually sat in the same seats every single time we did Boy Dinner.
We've been doing this for 3 years.
And the funny thing is,
Same seats every time.
I go to Duff Gardens or to Moe's, and I know everybody there. And it turned out we did learn this from our new friend Dylan, that all the full timers pretty much were not working horror nights this year. They were all working their normal day shifts during normal operating hours. He said they all were still working there, and one of them actually was working one of the tents because he got offered it and said yes. But so it was nobody we knew, but we became fast friends with our new friend Dylan. We had Dufftoberfest until their keg ran out, and then AJ had a regular Duff, Juice had a Duff Light, and I had a Jack and Coke
For hours.
for hours.
I love that we treat this place with $15 drinks like a neighborhood pub.
Like
Yeah.
it's a pub.
It's a bold choice, but you know what? Y'all ain't doing it.
I've been doing it for almost 10 years now. So.
Yes.
Duff Gardens has a magical place in my heart. In many ways, it is the happiest place on earth.
Duff Gardens. So the first time AJ ever met us in person, the end of the night, Juice, AJ, and I sat there for almost 2 hours. So it's like it does have a special place in What the Show history because it was really the first place that we were sitting down and it was like things had calmed down. We weren't just go. That we had a chance to actually, interact in person. Boy Dinner has become a tradition. We did Boy Dinner 5 times.
Y'all did Boy Dinner a lot this trip, for sure.
Did twice each night, maybe a third.
It was a third time on Saturday.
Do we leave and come back a third time on Saturday?
Yes, because they went to go ride Gringotts, which was closed, and you and I just went.
Juice's attempt at the dragon. I just thought about that again.
So let's go over the rest of the houses anyway.
What else
so
we got?
Ghostbusters, super fun, not
super
very
fun.
scary, but very cool set.
A Quiet Place
Little
is
disappointing.
It's a mid house. Like, it's fine.
Insidious was the most overrated house in the history of Halloween Horror Nights, and I say this for a reason. People were labeling this as the scariest house in like 10 years. And
I've heard this multiple times. Yes.
I've been going. This was my 10th year that I went.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a bad house. I'm not discrediting it that it's a perfectly. It would rank number 3 overall for me this year. It was far from the scariest house I've ever been in.
Overall, for 2 years of HHN, I put it probably smack dab in the middle of houses.
Yeah, so Beth and I were very worked up about this. We were very worried. We kept hearing things. We're not brave girly pops. We're not brave like y'all. We're all hyped up, getting in line. My heart rate was 140 going into this house. I don't think it was worth 140, to be honest. I'm not saying it wasn't scary. It was definitely one of the scarier houses I've ever done. I had no desire to ever do it again. But I do think that people had built it up so much that honestly, when I got in it, I was like, that wasn't so bad. I will say it was gross because the guy puked on my neck. Not literal puke, obviously. It's water and it's but I was just so stunned by the puke down my neck. I think I blocked everything else out. I was just really hung up.
The mannequin rooms were pretty cool, but it wasn't. Yeah, it didn't live up to the hype for sure.
Major Suites was really good.
So
I like that.
the last house we did
That's
on
awesome
Friday.
we did that night. Are we forgetting another house?
No, we got that's 7. That is the 7th.
Buckland's Monsters, Slaughter Cinema, Quiet Place, Ghostbusters,
Insidious,
Insidious.
Major
Okay.
Suites.
Major Suites.
Major
But-
Suites.
We breezed right past Quiet Place because it was that forgettable.
Yeah,
Quiet
Quiet Place.
There's
Yeah.
not much to say about the house.
It's fine. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
It's cool, but I feel I wanted them to use the shtick a little more, but you can't really do that with something you're just walking
See,
through.
for John Krasinski project, I was hoping that they would use more pieces from other houses.
I think it would have been really cool if you walked through a room and there was purposely something you were meant to step on that made a noise, and then that triggered someone.
They do-
like make you
Right,
feel
exactly,
like you were
yeah,
part of
exactly.
the movie. But that's
It
not
is-
really something that they like did.
It is
Yeah.
worth mentioning that they have the most out-of-pocket dessert, I think, probably in HHN history with that one, though.
Yeah.
So they have a chocolate eclair with that's like a wood
Like
carved
plank
pattern,
thing, like,
and
yeah.
then a little
little
wheel
nail.
sticking out of it.
Yeah. Which is pretty genius. Now, I have heard, I did not get to partake in the Quiet Place food stand / bar, whatever you want to call it. But I have heard that does have fun theming in which the people working the stand do not talk to you because it's a quiet place.
Oh,
So they you have to point to the menu.
Wish we
Like
had
the
known
order,
that.
like, they slide the menu to you and you like point to it and they'll be like, and then they point to the person who's like making your drink, like they want
Oh,
this
wow.
one. That is fantastic theming. So I kind of wish we would have gone to that, but we just didn't end up having time. But I've heard that
the
people
food
would have
sounded
gone
good.
to the
Sorry.
event, but that is something. So I will say that the food stand is very well themed. I wish there was more of that in the house, but again, I understand how that's kind of a difficult concept to do in a house. But yeah, Ghostbusters wins for IP for sure. It's probably my second favorite house overall, and Slaughter Cinema wins the overall for me. I would say Major Suites probably in third place. I really did dig that one a lot. Yeah, I don't know. What say you gents on the houses? At least the ones that we did on night one.
Everything was good. Or yeah, I don't have anything.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there
Yeah.
with you. I think we're all in universal agreement on Slaughter
Yeah.
Cinema being the best.
Yeah.
There's the costuming in Goblin and the set pieces are good. It's just
Yeah.
it's weird because like there's something about it that just it's an overall okay experience for like really good work. That was it just stuck out to me for that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's see.
May I just say, so we have a thing in our group of any like what the show trip or Schmodown trip, obviously in the past. Juice has come up with this theory that the last night, so he's always saying like when a trip is winding down, which was also obviously a bit of a shorter trip this time. As the trip is winding down, you always like really dread the last night. 'Cause you're like, oh no, the trip's over. But the last night is always like our best night. And so I was stoked for Saturday because I was like, the last night is always like when magic happens. And it did not disappoint. Magic did happen. We stayed up way too late. I did attempt a cartwheel. We'll get to that later. We had the most amazing Uber driver. But obviously, I don't know, any interesting stories from Saturday during the day? I don't really feel like I have anything.
All we did was
food, and then it rained, and someone said we had pizza time.
we were gonna go to TGI Fridays, which would have been the third, but then it was kind of rainy, so we didn't want to walk.
Yeah, so that didn't work.
I went down and bought some preparations for the night.
Oh yes. So okay, for the longest time now, AJ has been like, we need to do Gator wine. He brought up to me that he thought I'd be interested in Gator wine. And obviously it's sweeping the nation. We check into this, I almost said resort, this hotel. And as many hotels now have, they have a little marketplace, right? And in the marketplace, what did they have? Cheap
Josh
red
wine.
Josh wine and blue Gatorade. AJ sees this and goes, we have to do Gator wine. And I'm like, hell's to the yeah, we'll do that on the last night, right? So we are into this plan. We are doing Gator wine. Juice goes down to make the preparations. Direct quote. Well, first of all, Juice didn't realize it was supposed to be red wine. Then we tell him, and he goes, "I can't do that to red wine. I can't possibly. I wouldn't do that to red wine." So instead, he gets us the Josh Chardonnay. So he got us a cheap white wine and blue Gatorade. But we will obviously discuss our Gator wine review later. But that was one of my favorite quotes of the weekend. Was I couldn't do that to red wine.
It's too much fake Italian in my blood.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to do Gator wine tonight. I was not going to drink tonight. Well, the next time I drink on stream, I'll do Gator wine.
So, yeah, Saturday, the girly pops just got ready. The boys watched more weird things on their algorithm. Yeah. Mike put on his Pina Colada Berg shirt and was ready to march on down to Margaritaville and let them know that it's a sham and that Pina Colada Berg was put on the map 7.5 years.
7.5 years.
Or
And I did. I yelled at a sign.
He did. He yelled at that sign real good. Yes, please.
Look at that map. Margaritaville's nowhere to be seen.
In Florida.
Yep.
So that
Pina Colada Bird was on the map 7.5 years earlier.
7.5 years before.
we have things to do.
And I was wearing my Godfather Pimpin' Ain't Easy shirt.
Yeah.
There was, baby.
Oh, and AJ definitely got comments about that shirt.
And it was so great because AJ is a tall dude and he's wearing this tie-dye t-shirt. And so again, if we were ever lost in a crowd, like if I walked out of the bathroom, I would just look for AJ and I'd be like,
Look for the shirt. Yeah, that helped me a couple times.
So that was fantastic. So here we are Saturday. It's the last night. We have 3 houses to hit up.
Oh, we do Stay and Scream.
We do Stay and Scream.
We had the most interesting Stay and Scream experience ever.
Very bizarre.
So in years past,
Wait, we forgot the biggest villain of the weekend. We went and did freaking Minion Black. And I'm just gonna put it on record, y'all. I know Fast and Furious gets a lot of hate. Okay, I know Universal with their 3D rides and their this and that and whatever. Like they were getting some hate. There is not a single worse attraction in that theme park than maybe all of Orlando than this godforsaken monstrosity that they put there. Okay, it is terrible.
I can't wait to do it again.
Would you rather go to Icon Park or do Minions?
Okay, I'm gonna do Minions, but okay, so it's not the worst thing in Orlando, but the worst in a major theme park in Orlando. And I have nothing but love in my heart for Universal. Y'all know that. You know that I think that some of the greatest attractions in the world are at those parks. But when I tell you that this ride it's not a ride, it's an attraction because you stand on a freaking moving walkway and shoot at shit that you don't know what you're shooting at, and it's so dumb. At the halfway point, I just tuned the frick out and was like, when is this over? And the answer was not soon enough. It was terrible.
It's not even a moving walkway. It's a literal conveyor belt.
It's a conveyor belt.
Conveyor belt.
Yeah, it's a conveyor belt.
Yes. I shouldn't call it a moving walkway because you're not supposed to walk on it. Like you're not supposed to move. It's a conveyor belt.
So anyway,
and it's terrible.
We get off this. We had a couple of very good employees who directed us. We had 3 houses left to do, and it turned out of the 3 we had left, only one of them was like eligible for the Stay and Scream because the other ones wouldn't open until the park officially opened. And we wound up going towards the back of the park, and it took us in a very weird way to get where we're going. Like the directions that were listed by the park were not the best, but the employees were much better at explaining where to go because they made it much more direct for us. But there was no one in the back of the park.
Yeah, we were just straight chilling.
There was I would estimate maybe 200 people in our holding area.
Never walked into a house that easily in my life.
And whereas the front of the park probably had several thousand. And we literally got to the house that we had to go, which was the museum, and there was nobody within 200 feet in front of or behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just walked on it.
AJ got the best house run possible.
Yeah. I was the very fun person in our party, and there was nobody ahead of me.
No, we were like going through that house solo. I've never had that experience at Universal, like ever. It was crazy.
I've gone to houses like that have been like very lightly attended, like early in the event back in the day, but I've never been in one where there was nobody around us like this.
Unfortunately, not a very good house.
It probably was my least favorite house.
But we did have a good run through of it. So I will give it that.
Oh, yeah.
They tried something. It wasn't great, but they tried something. And then we were right there by our fave, Slaughter Cinema.
We walked right into it.
So we were like, we got to. And we went and saw our dear friend,
Shark.
So we went and saw him again, and then we just had Monstrous and Triplets to do.
I liked Monstrous.
Yeah, Triplets and Monstrous actually I think were pretty strong. I think those were good ones to end on. Monstrous, I just really liked the vibe of. It was, I think it's underappreciated. That one hasn't been getting a lot of love.
It had an indoor queue, which was
awesome. Yeah. We played Heads Up.
Yeah, Triplets was by far the longest wait we had.
Yeah, we waited.
No, Monstrous was
Monstrous. Oh, Monstrous.
We waited for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Monstrous was probably like 45.
The longest, but it was inside, so I didn't even care.
Oh yeah, it was like 40. Yeah,
we're getting air conditioning.
Heads up.
We did not do another house.
And we went in the first hour of the event. We did 4 houses.
Yeah.
And
then
hour
didn't do
and a half,
shit.
7:30.
Yeah, we did boy dinner.
And then
You
it
watched
was Boy
Nightmare.
Dinner, Little Men in Black, and some more Nightmare Fuel.
Boy dinner.
Boy Dinner.
Boy
Did a
dinner.
little shopping, and we're like, we came, we saw, we conquered.
Oh, so I forgot. We went to NBC Sports Grill and Brew.
Oh yeah.
Oh, how could we forget?
Oh yeah.
I had a Jack and Coke, which was like 75% Jack.
Direct quote from the
Jack
lovely
and a splash of
person
Coke.
who made it for us, Chicken Daddy. She goes, "Those drinks are mostly liquor. I kept pouring and didn't know when to stop." I'm like, "Oh shit, they gotta be doing cartwheels for sure."
So I'm like, the girls order Bacardi and pineapple. I'm like, I
Yeah.
want something light and refreshing. I'm also going to do a Bacardi and pineapple. That was all wrong.
That was a mistake.
I want something a
because
little bit
what happened-
hydrating before I go in, but I still want a little booze. And it's like, yeah, I'll get a Bacardi and pineapple.
I described it as Bacardi once glanced on a busy highway at Pineapple. That is what that drink was. She was strong. I was feeling it going in to do that stupid Minion BS ride.
Well, you probably needed that to do that.
to do that stupid
Oh, to
thing.
do the minion, yeah, for sure.
I was still feeling it a little bit by the time we were going into the museum. And that was like an hour later. I was like, woo!
So we went to Stay and Scream, which was by the Fanta bar, and I looked at the menu and I got a Jack and Coke. And then we went to Boy Dinner.
Oh yeah.
I did have a Ducktoberfest, but then I switched to a Jack and Coke.
And then he did Jack and Coke. Our boy Dylan. Dylan, if you're out there, you are.
Dylan, like an absolute champ. AJ and I were there by ourselves while Bethany and Juice went to go do a ride. And it turns out he had his phone on the Alabama-Georgia game, and we were asking what's going on. He just took his phone out and just put it in front of us and let us watch the end of the
What
game.
a great night.
Yeah, that's
great
awesome.
time
That
with
guy's great.
friends. Georgia loses. I was thriving. And then
We really
all-
let the naysayers know.
Yeah. We all had our fill. Like I said, we came, we saw, we conquered.
It was
And
like
so
about 12:30.
we decided after the boys had
Yeah.
had their last boy dinner that we would go get some food because Juice kept being like, "What's the plan? Are we getting food?" And I was like, "What do you want, Juice?" And he wouldn't really answer. And then AJ said, "This is Denny's," and he's like, "I don't want Denny's." And I was like, "What do you want then?" So we're gonna go to Ale House, and we got worried that their kitchen was gonna close. So where did we end up? Yes,
Sloppy Taco Palace for the
Sloppy
second night in a
Taco
row.
Palace, baby. We go. This one is trying to torture Juice with fireball shots. Juice retaliates with tequila, which was maybe one of the funniest things because Mike just like broke for a minute. And he was like, "Hang
Mike
on.
broke for the evening.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good." It was great. We were having a swell old time. And then as the night is winding down, Bevy, my dear friend, goes, because I had told her about how, because she had gone and seen the show with me twice. So I can't express to you all how much of a Nightmare Fuel fangirl I am. Okay, one of my favorite parts of this weekend is when Devaney and I, which is one of our friends, who's also a Nightmare Fuel fanatic, Mike, look, fireball. Mike and Aaron are like talking about I don't know what. And then Devaney and I to the rest of the group are explaining the lore of Nightmare Fuel to someone who had only seen it this year, which this year, like I said, is very different in concept. And so we were doing this whole thing, and Devaney and I are both like a little bit drunk. We're very excited to be talking about it. And I was like, all right, so there's this bed, okay? And this guy, and he's in PJs, and the first year he's wearing a mask, and he goes to bed, and then it's ba, 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 ba. Nightmare Queen comes out with her little sword. And we are like, I'm sweating. Like
that level of energy for no joke, minimum 15 minutes straight.
Yes.
I don't think you took a breath.
At the Fanta bar where I got a Jack and Coke.
Yes. So we are just like absolutely hamming it out. So I cannot like y'all got to see it. You got to see my love for this show, but like truly, I love this show. Okay. I'm like such a nerd for this show. And I follow these people on Instagram. And anyway, it's so dumb, but I love it. So anyhow, we are at this bar, and I'm explaining again in the lore that there's this one dancer who the first year, because he was wearing a mask, looked like we coined him as BDSM Trevor Lawrence. That's what he looked like to us. I've now know his real name, have followed him on Instagram, yada, yada, yada. But still, every year I'm like, can't wait to see BDSM Trevor Lawrence. And there was fear that he might not be in the show this year because he was contracted to do something else. But he was there. He was a backup, baby. Anywho, except my girl Tiana was not, but that's neither here nor there. So we're at SVP. We're wrapping up for the evening. And Bev goes, is that BDSM Trevor Lawrence behind you? And I go, fuck it is. So then I get like kind of flustered. Okay. And so AJ just keeps going, the guy in the singlet, the guy in the singlet. And I'm like, stop saying that so loudly because we were all drunk. And I'm like, we just call the Uber. Just call the Uber. We need to go. And he's like, I'm going to go up to the guy in the singlet. And as AJ went up first, and he's like, I'm just going to tell him I like him in the show. Is that okay? And I'm like, that's fine. I need to go. I need to get out of here. I can't talk. So AJ goes up and he's like, hey, whatever. Mike goes up and embarrasses me. And he's like, my wife adores you in the show, da-da-da-da. And she's right over there. And I'm like, oh my God. So he comes up. He was very gracious. Juice kept assuring me that I made his night too. I don't know. I felt very embarrassed. He was very nice. We took a picture. I've been watching this man now in the show for 4 years. 4 years.
Oh, there it is.
And I like him.
The way his eyes are lit up, after we walked away, his eyes were still lit up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Wait, the guy in the cutlet?
Singlet.
Or singlet?
Like,
What's
he
singlet?
was so insane. That was so funny to me. But also whatever. So we walk out and wait for our Uber. And y'all, this is where the night really turns from great to fan-fucking-tastic. Cannot stress enough. Alessandra is everything to me. She is everything. She is 100% going on the heroes list this year.
I'll let her right now.
She is so great. Again, we have some
Most enthusiastic Uber driver.
Yeah.
Maybe knew 10% of the English language.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
She was so great. Just at one point, what is the state?
I'm putting her number one on the one bracket.
And then we were all in town, visitors. I don't know what we said. It had nothing to do with birthdays. And she just goes,
I forgot about that. Oh, man.
So we just kept going, happy birthday to each other. To the point that I texted my friend Bev, happy birthday. And it put that Siri was like, suggested birthday for Bev. And I was like, that's not her birthday. So I've confused my phone now. I've confused Siri because of this. She was so honestly, oh my God.
The most enthusiastic Uber driver I think
She was
I've ever
helping
had
us
in my
out of
life.
the car. She was just an absolute delight. And it is like 2:30 in the morning. Okay. And she is just
She's at 11.
yeah. And she is
Yeah.
an 11. She's at an 11. She is an 11. She was fantastic. So she absolutely made my whole night, maybe my whole weekend. She was great. And then we end up back at the hotel. And at this point, again, I can't stress enough, it's already 2:30 in the morning and we still have Gator wine to drink, people.
Gator wine to drink.
We go over to the boys' room. Juice keeps going on about how it looks like Baja Blast, how he's so offended by everything that we are doing to wine. AJ into it. Mike is like suffering from tequila. He's on the couch, which is his bed this weekend, so he's ready to
It was
pass out.
delightful.
We drink Gator wine, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know if Juice is onto something with the white wine, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
Better than
Anniversary
mum
stream.
wine.
Literally, like when I was
Yeah.
waiting in the airport, Babish released a video ranking all flavors of Gatorade, and he did test them as Gator wine as well
I
with
respect
red and white. It's a 34-minute video.
that. Wow.
Good video for Scooch Scotch to do.
Oh, Scooch
Scotch,
Scotch.
Hall of Famer.
Scooch Scotch would do so great. I can't believe Scooch Scotch didn't come up at all this week, and I'm shocked.
We talked
He
about him a little bit, but
Boys,
not much.
I think it was like an on the way out the door kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
real
it
quick
was.
Conversation.
we
Yeah.
got very in our like millennial feels, and we put on some emo later. We were listening to some Jimmy Eat World,
yeah.
Yellow Card. It was the whole thing. It was
I had my
great.
snap.
Mike was dead to the world asleep. I cannot stress how loud we were being. We're playing heads
Oh, yeah.
up. We're drunk. Justin is determined to get through all the Trulies that he had in the fridge. So he's like, you need another Truly? So we're drinking. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm going out to the hallway. Okay. And it's now a custom. I have to do my cartwheel, right? So I'm ready to do my cartwheel. Bev is filming me. She films a couple of videos of me actually. But anyways, I go out, guys, and at 4:30 in the morning, too many drinks. This is post Gator wine, okay? I look at this hallway, which is a standard hallway,
Regular hallway.
and I go, it's too small. It's too small. I can't do it. It's too small. I kept looking at it. I just kept saying that to Beth, and she's like, do it. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I attempted 4 different times. My 4th time was still terrible. And then after that, I go, no more.
Oh man.
Juice, I heard you also had an attempt at a cartwheel.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is still in concussion protocol.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm joining Tua on the IR. Yeah,
Well, I think
that was
that's a good.
something. Yeah, it was something.
I think that's as good a time as any to segue into the video.
Yeah.
Let's watch the
Yeah,
video. I'm
let's
excited.
roll the beautiful
None of
video.
us except for Juice have seen this.
Penis mutilators. Let's ride.
It's mutilators.
So excited.
Boy dinner. Boy
All right.
dinner.
It's called "What the Show Buys Orlando." A recap.
A recap. Okay.
For $4,000.
They call me the mayor, 'cause I spend all my days here. You would too, if you knew what I know about a tropical tree. Suck straight from the coconut's teeth. When it's just right, it makes your short hairs grow.
I was supposed to be getting out of the
Got
frame.
all of my
Oh,
straw
the
hat,
Cinnabon.
2
Yeah, let me
tires
send
on
that
my
to
Jeep
Jeff.
flat.
I insulted a child.
15
I'll
seconds.
stay out of the sun.
Aw,
Wish we had more SPG.
That means it's time to start cocking
Oh my good
that
looking
brain.
man.
Boy dinner.
Boy, dinner.
Here's my fun gun.
This is my favorite bit of the video.
Yeah, fuck you, Margaritaville.
Thumbs down,
man.
Coconut milk with a pineapple splash. Don't
Don't
forget
forget
the rum
rum
comes
comes
third.
third.
Pass the flag.
Baby Pina Colada Burger, that's right.
Yeah.
Pina Colada Burger.
I had 8 pictures and I used them all.
Right? You're like, I'm gonna take a wide shot, and then you did every one.
I wanna know what you're thinking.
Oh,
There are some things you can't hide.
yeah.
I wanna know what you're
Yes.
feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Yes. Oh,
This is not the same song. It's a completely
Tommy
brand.
Flashman
It's a completely different song.
Pure energy.
But it fits perfectly.
That is fantastic. Dude, still getting a copy.
They only had so many drum synth beats in the 80s.
Yeah.
That was so pretty.
I just kept showing it because it kept doing stuff in sync.
You're like, I got to do it. It does edit so well to it.
Yeah.
I think it's so perfect.
Here I am in silence, looking round to find.
Yeah, I'll put some of the video of me dancing in this
Yeah.
part.
Find myself alone again.
Guys, AJ for a while.
You're very good at it.
I can see behind your
The picture I just showed, it looks like I have 3 legs.
If you hide away from me, how can our love grow? I want to know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your
Yeah, who would have thought a bar we were at for an hour would be one of the most
But
highlighted?
it honestly is so iconic though.
Body cow.
Yeah, like I reused the picture there.
Not just that's
Three
great.
of me.
That's great.
But actually, yeah.
Out all right.
Mr. Taylor.
Spotted a water.
SDP!
Look at
Got the
water.
wits about the
Oh my god.
It's juice to stay in the fireball.
Naughty cow and his pal. Riding the woods for somewhere.
it,
Jason!
I know they blew all their dough. Ended up nowhere. Toby said, hey, I got an idea. That is, if you're not
not
yellow,
like not in it.
across the street.
Oh
Something
my God.
sweet. An underwater bordello.
Bordello.
Toby took him to a seahorse whorehouse for a little spin. Wonka chose himself a
My
pretty
goodness.
frog.
My
There's the mummy.
I'm rocking and rolling. And he's
High
just
as a
sleeping.
kite. felon practice.
No.
That's a Bernadette. $4,000.
What is that? Oh, the joke.
That was all. It is.
Everybody talking chick, calling me an idiot. Don't know how I handle it.
Dude, some of your best words yet.
It was so much louder in
I took the
person
cap
when you
to you,
crashed.
sir.
It was so much louder, man.
You really are on IR, sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
I also would like
Oh,
to
man.
say on Sunday when we sadly wrapped up and had to bid adieu till next time. We had discussed multiple times the weekend that like y'all were staying in Orlando, you were gonna Uber to the airport because we were headed Davenport.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're just
I thought I remembered. Yeah, I just thought I remembered hearing that we
so
were.
good. We
you guys were
started the
hanging.
weekend with you thinking you were going somewhere, and I was like, "No, buddy, we're not going anywhere yet." And it was a full circle moment. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Yeah."
It's true.
This house does not cost $4,000.
I'll buy this
He
hotel.
did gift them a very nice gift card, though. So we did
Did.
do that to the Deacons on your behalf.
Thank you.
Oh, bravo, sir. That was some of your best work, honestly.
Thank
What
you.
a great video.
Juice, you,
Yeah.
you were the star of the weekend, man.
No,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
never a dull
And
moment.
AJ's photo bombs also really made my
Yeah.
weekend. And
Yeah.
when I was pretty drunk at 2:30 in the morning, you just were like,
Just mocking a child.
you were complimenting her. And what is it? Impersonation is the best form of flattery or
Imitation.
something? Imitation,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Is the best form of flattery. It was you were flattering her, is what it was.
Absolutely.
Oh man. God, I wish weekends like that could last forever. It
We
was
would all die.
we would all die. We would have alcohol poisoning.
Okay.
It's not sustainable. But it was great. And I can't wait till the next.
HHN 25.
Yeah. 25.
I'm down.
Oh, I'm trying.
It's HHN 34 by
34,
by year.
baby, but 2025
HHN
is the calendar.
25. And we're not going to reveal what weekend it is publicly again.
See you in the
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
It's 2 minutes for roping. I like that.
You're a jabroni.
Quiet.
26th through the 28th of September.
Yeah, that should work.